Look around. Look at what we have. Beauty is everywhere.
And so is Ultron. He's all over Arena, he's all over War, and man, he's gonna be everywhere soon, and you're gonna want to be able to counter him. So in this video, we're talking about counters to Ultron and some tips to unlock him if you have not already. Are you ready? Let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hey, what's up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. In this video, we are talking all about Ultron. Yes, he is the meta character right now, and I got someone here to talk about Ultron that knows a lot about unlocking him and playing with him. My buddy, WolverThor, aka the reincarnated version of Bob Ross. What is up, brother?
What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good.
There's nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend, just so you know.
Yes, you're exactly right. There's nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend. Now, guys, there's going to be some Bob Ross quotes thrown around this video, so let me know how many you pick up in the comments. Now, we're going to talk about unlocking him. Before we get into that, I do want to remind you guys, TeePublic, awesome Valley merch there, and BlueStacks. If you want to play Marvel Strike Force on your computer, that is the way to go. There's a free link down below, and it does support the channel. Also, there's a Patreon if you wanted to donate. So, unlocking Ultron. It is a tough task, but you are very high on the leaderboard. So if we go into leaderboards right here, as of us recording this, we go into the leaderboards for Fear the Darkness, timed run. You are the top content creator of this game mode. Number 23, WolverThor from the Grumpy Old Mutants. And your name has been there for a while, my friend. You did this thing in 4 hours and 30 minutes. That is a marathon. So I can think of nobody better with some expert information about Fear the Darkness than you, because you are the 23rd ranked player in the world for this game mode.
I appreciate you having me on, and yeah, I mean, obviously that's I did a lot of research and kind of figuring out what I wanted to bring in there, talk to some people, and you know, grinded it out. So I'm happy to talk and share and bounce some thoughts off each other.
Well, I am also glad you're here because you have the expert opinion. Now, if there's someone that is very close to Ultron, I know there's the common tips: use Minerva, use Star-Lord, start working on your gear right now if you haven't. Do you have any other tips that are probably some less common ones that you could give to people out there before we talk about some counters for Ultron?
You know, one thing I would say for sure is be patient. You know, especially with so many Ultrons showing up in the arenas and War. Yeah. You know, everyone wants them because they're like, I need my Ultron, I need my Ultron, I'm gonna do this. And look, that even with the team I had, and that you know, the timed leaderboard and all that, it takes time, you know, and don't go crazy refreshing your characters to heal, because that adds up quick. You know, it goes from 50 to 100 to 200, and who knows after that. But you know, save your money.
A lot of cores if you're really rushing, right?
Yeah, just it takes time. You're not gonna, you know, one-shot the final node on your first go.
Yeah, it took me maybe 5 or 6 times for that final node. But,
yep, yeah. Same here.
Yeah, and not just the time for that run. I think the time per battle. That was something that I was underestimating as I was going into this. You know, you play these arena matches, 5-minute timer. The blitz matches, they don't have a timer, but they're usually pretty quick. The raids, they have a timer. These Ultron nodes, no timer, and they last a long time. Even with perfect RNG, some of these battles go 20, 30 minutes for one battle. So my tip would just be give enough time per battle, because I don't know how many times I'd have to just stop a battle. Like, I got something else to do. I can't finish this, even, you know, having a good run. So,
I totally agree. Totally agree with that.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody who's played like a game like League of Legends, where, you know, a game can last 30 to 40 minutes sometimes, you can't step away from that. You know what I mean? So obviously you could set your phone down for a little bit in this mode, but you know, you definitely want to block off some time knowing you're like, all right, I'm just going to do this and then go back to what I'm doing.
Yeah, even if you're not going for a time run, even if you're just doing a single node, give yourself some time for that. My other tip would be to start saving for Ultron as you're saving for the gear, because I knew that I wanted to get Ultron geared up, but I didn't start saving all those materials until after I entered Fear the Darkness, and that is not the way to do it. So,
I agree. And
you did it opposite. You did it correctly, though, right?
Well, how do you make a round circle with a square knife? I mean, that's really your challenge for the day. So, when you go through there and do that, I started saving for Ultron. I'm big into spreadsheets, and one of my spreadsheets I have is gear. And I go from all the way from tier 1, and in this case, what was it, tier 12, 13. And so it totals up for me. And then I have a current inventory, so I track it. And so I look at it and I can see what I need to farm. And yeah, as soon as I got him, if it wasn't for the Captain Marvel milestones, I would have immediately leveled him up in T13'd him. But I had it ready, all those unstable molecules, plan for it.
Yeah, those spiky balls and laser guns. You need so many of those, especially if you're bringing the team that we brought in with Minerva, which takes tech gear, Star-Lord takes tech gear, Rocket takes tech gear, and there's not a left for Ultron. So plan ahead. That was my big tip.
Yep. I agree.
You will be so much happier knowing that you've saved for Ultron and you can do that second run so much quicker. So don't do it the way I did it. Do it the way that WolverThor did it. Do you have any other tips? Any other happy tips? For
happy tips? I mean, we are artists. We're just a different breed of people. We're happy, I mean? So that's what we do here. So that's, be happy. I mean, as far as tips go, I think, one of the typical ones, like you said, just know your team, know the synergies. A lot of people talking about that. There's a lot of, you don't have to use Valley's team or my team or whatever. Just pick a team that, you've got that you can get in there and go in that has good synergies.
Yeah. And Casino went through it, didn't even have Minerva on his first run. So she makes it a lot easier, but definitely not a requirement for that node.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, my happy friend. If there's nothing else as far as tips, let's get into these counters because Ultron is a tough nut to crack.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So, I guess the big number one counter for Ultron is Ultron.
100%. Absolutely. I mean, I hate to say that, but yeah, when you see an Ultron, in war, I mean, if you're talking war, well, have two good teams, that's a counter. But if you're talking just straight up PvP arena, nah, you got to have an Ultron more than likely to really counter it.
Now, I did lose a Blitz battle because of one of these other characters, and yeah, I learned a lot. I'm learning a lot about Ultron and how to counter him by playing him and actually losing. I lost to a Vision because Vision ability blocked Ultron on turn 1, and if he can't get his bots up on that first turn, it makes him very vulnerable. So yes, Vision I think is a good counter, and frankly anybody that I think could ability block or stun. What are your thoughts on that? I think you faced a lot more Ultrons than I have.
Yeah, and ability block and stun is a big thing, and leaving Ultron exposed a bit, it could be a mistake, and we don't make mistakes, we just make happy accidents. So when we're in there, you really want to find a way to limit that army building, and really that's what it is, the Ultron army. Because those guys they feed him speed and speed bar. And once that gets going, he's literally summoning and then immediately ulting. It's like, how did he just go twice before I went? So the ability blocks, the stuns, maybe a little slow action. Someone who could clear buffs. I like the Vision because not only can he ability block, but he can clear a lot of the buffs that are out there. That's really nice. So I know we've talked about a couple other ones.
Yeah.
Out there,
one more thing about Vision, he's a key piece to that power armor team, which is another counter to Ultron. That thing could punch up, and with all their AoEs, even with all his bots out there, they're not going to survive all those AoEs coming at once from that power armor team. So Vision, the rest of the power armor team, I think is a good counter to Ultron. Theoretically, I haven't done it myself. Have you encountered a lot of power armors?
It's funny that you mentioned that team because I've got a semi-strong power armor team. I just got a 5 red star War Machine, which I'm stoked about.
Nice.
And I'm waiting for the opportunity to use them on an Ultron team, and I haven't been able to. Obviously, they don't pop up in Blitz very often. So no, I think you're right in the theory crafting behind it, but I haven't had the opportunity to actually try it out yet.
Yeah, I want to build up my power armor team, but They all take spiky balls and laser guns, so they're going to be a while before I build them up. So looking at some other characters, though, I think that ability block stun is good, and then an AoE, which the power armor provides. But there's some other characters that go before Ultron. Ultron has a 107 speed. There's a couple characters that have the possibility to stun him or ability block him on turn 1, and Ant-Man, if he's paired with Black Widow, will go before Ultron, so he has that ability block. Have you experienced a lot of Ant-Mans countering your Ultron or faced a lot of Ant-Man?
That's the best character guy, right? The one who Ant-Man. I'm trying to no.
Oh yeah, so it was somebody's favorite character. One of the other.
Yeah, I was trying to remember who that.
Someone else that made some videos.
What you doing, my friends?
Look, personally, I haven't experienced it, but I will say that I've recently started using Ant-Man and Wasp with my Black Widow and Blitz. And I'm finding mixed results. They're doing better than my other Avengers team did. So I could see that, potentially working. And, obviously Wasp could have a stun there too, especially with Ant-Man. But, I mean, are you really going to bring up, that's, 3 of your 5 there? And
it's risky. It's risky.
It is very, very risky, very risky because they're not doing a whole lot of other damage there. So you're...
Oh yeah, because it's not just ability blocking or stunning him. You need someone else to follow up that could actually kill him before he starts going. Because once he gets going, it's gonna be tough to win that battle. So
it's over. I mean, and I shared this with you off air, but I finished one of my random runs in Fear the Darkness. I finished the final node. After I lost Minerva, Star-Lord, and Rocket, I finished the node with just Groot and Ultron because I built his army up.
Ooh.
It just
that's a Fear the Darkness, the hardest content in the game right now, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what Foxnex says. So
it
has to be true.
Until we get to Alt 7, it's got to be, right? So.
Yeah, it does. So Fear the Darkness, Ultron cleared it on his own. All right, other character that has that will go before Ultron. Korath, but he needs a little luck because his ability block is only a 50% chance for his turn 1. So not the most reliable, but he can block him. Yeah. And then your guy that you mentioned, the sorcerer, the sorcerer.
Oh, Mordo
with the beard and the goatee.
Yeah, with the T4 ability upgrade there.
Yes, he gets that. 100% with a T4, not 50% like at level 6. Level 7, 100% stunning on turn 1. The primary
and
target.
Honestly, now that we're talking about that a little bit compared to all the other ones we're talking about, I like that option the best, I think. Because if you think about it, if you can do that, you do that turn 1, and you've got heal blocks, which keep those green Fabricator minions from healing him. And he's hopefully spreading some debuffs around, and and you've got 4 other characters you can still plug in there versus like the trifecta of Black Widow and Ant-Man. It's kind of like, well, this is just one character who could potentially counter him. So I might have to play around with that a little bit if I can find an Ultron and Blitz.
Just got to make sure that you can hit him because sometimes he gets stuck behind Drax and you got to clear that taunt before you can even get to Ultron. So, gotta be tricky. I think my favorite one would be Vision just because he's an important part of that power armor team. Although if you run across a Drax, you might get stuck. So I guess it depends on the team, who you're bringing in, the rest of the team. Because Drax could make things interesting on that turn 1.
I agree. And I mean, if there's a Drax out there, you're pretty much screwed. I mean, because I don't know the speed with Drax, Yondu, and Ultron and Mordo.
Mordo is at 113, and Yondu is at 112. So Mordo, unless something happens, is always going before Yondu, unless there's some strange interaction. But let me tell you who does go before that can clear on turn 1 is Hawkeye with a 116 speed. So Hawkeye Mordo combo might work if you have the rest of the characters that could back it up, that could get around Drax, and then you'll need a good follow-up for the rest of the team. But
I was just going to say, you need heavy damage.
Get to Ultron on turn 1.
Yeah, which sometimes depending what the rest of the team is, that might be fine. You know what I mean? But who knows? So.
Yeah, because some people build the most powerful team they can with Ultron. Other people just pair Ultron with some crappy characters because he's that good. Yeah, and if you can get to him early, you could win the battle. But have you had any experience of beating Ultron once he gets going and gets a lot of those bots on the field? Is it possible to beat him at that point?
Only with another Ultron and a good team. So yeah, I've had it happen in arena because I've got high level arena guys, and you need the dark in order to show the light. Mm-hmm. So in order to do that, you just got to kind of hope, like, can I get, in front of this Ultron? Can I, I've got my army, he's got his army. Can I start taking down some of his bots without him getting energy? Mm-hmm. I have had it happen, but you've got to, hopefully you take down the other person's Minerva if they've got one. You've got a Minerva to bring anyone back. That's the only time I've really been able to do it. But I've also gotten it where the RNG flips to the other side and I can't finish them off and the time runs out. And I'm like, okay, great. Well, so much for that.
Well, you do say you have a close to 100% arena team that you're running right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm, to your point, some people have high-level Ultron teams. Some have Ultron with scrubs. Yeah. I'm a high-level person. I've got Ultron with Star-Lord, Rocket, Drax, and Groot. Oh, and nice. It never loses. I mean, obviously it's Ultron, so why would it?
Yeah.
But, I get about 70,000 points on Teeth 8.3 in Blitz, and, I like it. It's good. Could I use it spread around? Maybe, but I just like the almost auto of it and not have to worry about it.
Nice. Now, follow-up question. Is that team good enough to auto on 8.3 in Blitz? Like, fully auto from the beginning?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there might be a rare exception. I'll try it just to test it out for fun, but especially with the Scarlet Witch Blitz that's going on, I'll definitely try that out.
Yeah, you could experiment with a lot of different scenarios with Ultron and the Scarlet Witch
exactly.
Blitz, right? Perfect.
Yeah. I love these type of blitzes. Granted, I wish they were in the week. Another Oprah.
I think most content creators do as well.
Yes. I think more than likely I could literally click auto regardless of who I'm playing, and it'd be fine. A lot of times I'll click auto as soon as I summon the first set of bots with Ultron.
Any other teams that you found works pretty well against Ultron?
I don't know. It's definitely an option. I've been beaten with this team, but I think it's at least worth mentioning to people is Brotherhood with Venom. Depending on your Mystique and Sabretooth, those are one of the folks you'd put him in for. Personally, my Sabretooth's lower, so you might be able to. I've pulled it off before, but I got worked really bad in a couple wars where I tried to punch up with it. But I do think it's an option there, and there's some damage there and some spreading of bleeds. It really just kind of melts the team. So I think they're at least worth mentioning.
Now, how much do you think you could punch up with that team? Or do you have to be equal, or are you punching down against Ultron with that Brotherhood team?
I believe you could at least be equal with maybe a slight punch up, depending where you're at. Okay. I mean, you've got to be at least 200K there. Okay. You don't want to be a low Brotherhood team. You've got, some red stars and some T4 abilities in there, but so I'd say at least 200K, and I'd like to think you could get at least up to 230. But
so about 30K. Okay.
Maybe, again, RNG based a little bit, but I think you probably could in big part of this is how strong is your Juggernaut, because he's going to take that Ultron alt. So you've got if he gets one-shotted, forget it. If you really want a strong Juggernaut there,
he's got to survive. Theory crafting with that team, it sounds like they would be a good counter, but you do need them powered up correctly. You need some RNG to go in your favor. It sounds like that team would work though. Venom does have an ability block on his first turn as well. Mm-hmm. So not the worst thing. He's a little slower than Ultron though. So. But he does have an ability to block, so he might not be able to get hit off his ult before he goes, right?
Correct, yeah. And you can use his ult. You want the ult to spread the bleeds anyway, so you're really looking to ability block more than likely first turn. Because, unless you've, of course, if there's a Groot on the team, you might not use Pyro Special to spread the bleeds. But if you did use Pyro Special, then you're going to use Venom Special and then ability block more than likely his second turn. But again, it all depends what type of Ultron team you're facing.
Yeah. Well, that is an option, guys. If you guys have a chance to test it out and you have some success with it, let me know in the comments, because Ultron is the thing. Ultron is here to stay, and the more ways to counter this guy, the better. So that seems about it. Ultron counters Ultron. Power Armor counters certain Ultron teams. You got some random characters in there like Mordo and Korath, maybe Ant-Man and Wasp. And then we got the Brotherhood in there with Venom because he's a little more effective than the true Brotherhood team in there. So good counters, and that's about it. Any other things to add before we sign off here?
I don't think so. Just, make sure that you guys understand that Ultron's a tough guy, and, you got to remember trees cover up a multitude of sins.
You're exactly right on that. They do. No. All right, tell everybody where they can find you in case they want to follow up with you. I know you're on pbs.org, but where else can they find you? Yes.
Besides that, you can find me there on, and feel free to donate to PBS, public broadcasting. Yeah, very good. On the internet, YouTube is where I spend most of my time and content, /C/WolverThor. I'm on Discord here and there. I don't have my own channel, but you can find me and message me and talk to me a little bit there. I also have a Twitter.
You're on my server. You could reach out.
Yeah, hit me up. Yeah, absolutely. Tag me and, ask if there's something you kind of want to see or talk about. And then on Twitter, you can follow me at WolverThor. Nice. So, and that's pretty much it.
So, reach out to him, one of the best theory crafters out there. So that is why I brought you on, because I've kind of got away from that.
Yeah, well, thank you, sir.
So, all right. Well, WolverThor, thank you for joining me on this video. Thank you for your expertise, and thank you for your contribution to that Fear the Darkness leaderboard, because it is so sweet to see your name up there. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe and click on that notification bell, because that seems to matter more nowadays. Also, smash that like button, share this with your friends, because that also helps out the channel. Valley links down below. The Discord server is there. The TeePublic site is there. BlueStacks, Patreon, all of them are there. I will see you guys next time. Good luck fighting Ultron. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin. Out!